Hi, I'm Graham.
And I'm Tracy.
And together we're the Flying Finnies. We're a couple of 50-somethings from Sydney, Australia, and we've been married for 27 years. We love our daughters, we love our dogs. Most importantly, we really love to travel. So far we've been to 24 countries and counting.
Last week, Australia announced that it's going to be opening its international borders for the first time in 2 years since COVID first began. So we're sitting down today to give you the rundown on exactly where you can go, when you can go, what the restrictions are like, and really importantly, how to get back home.
Before we start, a massive disclaimer for everyone. What we're talking about today is very much our understanding and interpretation of the rules at the time that this video is being made. Fortunately, there are a whole heap of great resources out there which will provide the latest and up-to-date information like Smart Traveller and also the COVID-19 website through Home Affairs. We've also found the ABC News website to be a great source of information as well. It's also worth checking the consular pages of any country you intend to visit. These rules can change very, very quickly, so best to keep up to date, in particular before you go and book any travel.
Totally agree, Graham. So first things first, who is allowed to go travelling? It's pretty obvious at this point in time, but we'll point it out for you anyway. So all travellers aged 12 and over need to have had 2 doses of a recognised COVID-19 vaccine or have a medical exemption. What's a recognised vaccine? Well, here they are: Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Moderna and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It's important to note that in some countries, they only accept travellers with a certain type of vaccine. Do you have a vaccine, Gas? Do you have a vaccine, Gas?
There's other problems.
Like the UK, Singapore and Qatar. But don't stress, all of the available vaccines in Australia are acceptable for entry into those countries.
So now the fun part, where can we go? Oh, Gus, that's great.
I think that
I know where you can go away from me.
Gus's name just changed to Gas. He just did a Gussie. This is really... Oh, Gus, that's not pleasant.
I think we might be too.
All right, we're going to send Gus to Hong Kong.
The current list of destinations that Australia is opening its borders to include Auckland, Christchurch and Wellington in New Zealand, London in the United Kingdom, Los Angeles and San Francisco in the United States.
You can go to Dubai, Doha in Qatar, Singapore and Hong Kong.
You can also go to Bangkok in Thailand, Tokyo in Japan, Nadi in Fiji and Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea. Now it's not a free-for-all and there's definitely going to be some entry requirements to get into some of these countries. And once you're there, you may have to stick around a certain area. Let's break that down by what we mean. Each country is going to have their own rules for incoming travellers. They may be vaccines, PCR tests, and possibly even quarantine upon arrival. For the United States, travellers need to return a negative COVID test no more than 3 days before travelling. However, you actually don't need a COVID vaccine to be able to travel. In the United Kingdom, unvaccinated travellers must quarantine for 10 days and take 2 COVID tests throughout that period. Vaccinated travellers must have a pre-booked COVID test within the first 2 days of arriving in the country.
In Qatar and Dubai, you just have to be vaccinated and from what's classified as a green country, and Australia is classified as a green country. At the moment, our mates in New Zealand have paused the travel bubble that we had in place earlier in the year.
Thanks, New Zealand.
Due to the current outbreak. So if you want to enter New Zealand, you need to have a travel exemption and you need to quarantine on arrival for 14 days. And currently, the other countries on the list, including Papua New Guinea, Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong, Fiji and Thailand, aren't opening up to tourists just yet. But keep an eye on those countries over the coming months, I beg your pardon.
What about getting home? Well, the government has currently announced that coming home to Australia is going to be much easier after November. And that's if the home quarantine system that we're currently trialling is successful. If all works well, incoming vaccinated travellers or those with an exemption should only have to quarantine at home for 7 days. The unvaccinated will need to quarantine for 14 days before entering into the community. So, with all of that in mind, and noting that at the moment in Sydney it is absolutely pissing down with rain, which makes us want to travel even quicker. Tracy, where do you want to travel to?
Time is of the essence here. We want to do something sooner rather than later, and we need to obviously fit it in around our work schedules. So my thoughts would be Singapore and Japan, because it's not too far and we can do fairly short, concise trips. I've wanted to go to Singapore for a while, as you're aware. Graham's been to Singapore a few times for work purposes in the past, so I would say you're less enthusiastic about Singapore. Would that be right?
Look, I love Singapore. I think that it's a beautiful place. I think that
There you go.
being hit by lightning, struck by lightning. I think Singapore is a great place. I think the food there is spot on. It's really, really nice. It's a very cosmopolitan city, and there are so many great things to see. But you're right, because I've been there a couple of times. Whether or not that's on the top of my list. One of the places that I've been to and that Tracy hasn't is Vietnam, and I love Vietnam, but unfortunately I've only ever been to Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City. I haven't had the opportunity to travel along the coast, see all of the other beautiful things within Vietnam. So to be honest, if I had my wishes, and also if the country was available to travel to, I would love to spend a couple of weeks in Vietnam. And again, for the food, for the scenery, I think it'd be fantastic.
Graham's also being a bit of a tight ass when he says Vietnam. I'd like a night in Raffles, and he's reminding me of the budget. We could probably do 2 weeks in Vietnam for one night in Raffles.
Most probably
right?
could too.
And I've never had a Singapore sling before.
And I might have had one or maybe two. I'm sure that we've had a Singapore sling.
Not in Raffles. I've never been to Raffles.
So Raffles is reminiscent of a bygone era. It was back in the early days of the establishment of Singapore. There was a very, very heavy British presence in Singapore at the time. And Raffles was very much the top-end hotel in the city for many, many years. And in fact, you could argue that it still is. There are lots of other beautiful hotels in Singapore, which I think you may wish to...
The Marina Bay Sands is the other one that I'd really like to try, because it's got that amazing infinity pool. That would be fantastic. Right?
However, I think you have to stay there.
Yes, you do have to stay there.
To actually swim in the pool.
You do.
So is it worth the price, Tracy?
I don't know. I haven't been there. I guess we can do a video after the trip to work out whether it's worth the price. Is Raffles good value? Is Marina Sands good value? Maybe we just stay in a capsule hotel instead. Backpackers, separate pods.
So I recall we went to Japan back in 2014.
13, I think, 2013, yep.
And we had a fantastic visit there. Tokyo was just superb. Really big city, very, very busy. All of the rooms incredibly small. We had the girls with us at the time. Got to do great things like going to the fish market. I think that was more of a favourite for me than it was for the girls necessarily, but still great stuff.
Tokyo Disney was great. We loved that. The girls, of course, loved that. But Graham and I are also known to enjoy a theme park or two. And from Tokyo, we took the bullet train down to Kyoto. Beautiful city. Probably not the best time of year to be there. It was really humid when we were there. I can't even remember what month it was, probably June or July. But great, beautiful place, Kyoto, and really keen to get back there at a different time of year where it's less humid. But we did have fun. We stayed in a beautiful ryokan, I hope that's how you pronounce it, the traditional Japanese inn hotel. Yeah, really amazing experience. Got saturated on bicycles one day, but yeah, really, really memorable
Saw
trip.
some amazing temples. And that for me was the real thing about Kyoto. I found it a very spiritual place. The gardens were just absolutely superb. But from Kyoto we had the opportunity to get out to Hiroshima, which I think for anybody who has the opportunity to go to Hiroshima, it's very, very thought-provoking, very, very sad. Some of the things that are presented to you in Hiroshima, but a very, very good reminder as well about peace and peace in the world. So really superb trip.
Yeah, Hiroshima was amazing, especially for the girls at their age. It was great for them to get a very real understanding of, I guess, potential impacts of war. And we did a really quick day in Osaka on our way home, which was also great. We didn't see a lot of Osaka itself, but had a fantastic day at the aquarium, which was probably the best aquarium we've ever been to. It was amazing.
Yep, absolutely.
Again, we only probably planned to be there for, an hour or two. We thought it'd just be a nice place to take the girls, but I don't know, we stayed there nearly the whole day while we were waiting for our flight. It was a great day.
By the end of it.
Yeah, it was really cool though. Yeah.
But Japan in February might be a little bit different to Japan in July or August.
Yeah, definitely cooler, and the opportunity maybe to get up north and see the snow monkeys, which I would love to do. You can ski in Japan. We feel a bit differently about that. Probably if we had a longer trip, we'd do some skiing, but if it's a shorter trip, we probably wouldn't spend time skiing. And obviously we'd probably go back to Kyoto to enjoy that in cooler, less humid temperatures.
But February, I'm led to believe that there are a whole heap of different snow festivals in different towns within Japan, and they all kind of appear to run at the end of January, early February. So that might be an opportunity as well.
Yeah, like the snow and ice festivals. Yeah, great. You've almost convinced me to make Japan my preferred location. I don't know, I think we need longer for Japan too. Anyway, there's lots of things that we're obviously tossing up at the moment. Again, because where we live, New South Wales, has just opened up again. We've got a few trips that we need to make locally to catch up with family and friends. As a family, we have lots of birthdays in January, and we've got some weddings, a couple of weddings in January, February too. So we've got to try and schedule hopefully a trip really soon around that as well. And work, don't forget work, because we've got to be able to pay for the trip. So a few things to juggle, but we're really excited about getting out there and doing it again. All right, so hopefully you've enjoyed that video. We've really enjoyed talking to you about potential travel plans. Obviously, we're really excited about getting out there and traveling again. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed the video, please like it, subscribe to our channel so we can keep you updated on what we're doing in the future, and to follow us on daily kind of updates. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Bye everyone, thanks for watching.
Bye.
See you soon. Oh, your hand just went right in front of my face.